Do you ever get annoyed and frustrated with technology? I know I do. I've just tried to do a live video on YouTube using Streamlabs and using my phone. My phone, for some reason, I think it's since I got the screen replaced, it has a problem recording live audio. So if I try and make a video call, I have to put a Bluetooth headset in to get the audio. Or if I want to do a live stream, I can't because it doesn't record the audio. It doesn't broadcast the audio, at least. I don't know whether it's a recording issue, broadcasting issue, not too sure. Anyway, that wasn't the first disaster. It wasn't the first disaster I've ever had in a live stream. It also wasn't the first disaster of that particular live stream. The first issue was the fact that I set up a live stream on my phone last night. No, not on my phone, on the PC. Set it all up on the PC on YouTube. I thought, yeah, that'll be nice and reliable doing it on the PC. Set it all up, queued it for 11 o'clock today, and they gave it the right name and everything. The name was something along the lines of Mortal Realms Live, War in the Underworld, because that's what I'm going to be talking about. But then, of course, when I've activated the stream on Streamlab, it's shown my previous live stream. I'm on a screen. It's shown my previous live stream, which was a Christmas giveaway. We're in April. It's not time to be doing Christmas giveaways, is it? Anyway, on to what I wanted to talk about today, which is War in the Underworld. It's this little this booklet. I won't have put the green screen up yet, if I remember. If not, you'll probably get a weird picture. It's this little pull-out booklet that you get in the first issue of Mortal Realms magazine. And I just wanted to talk you through the contents of it, and it's a nice little additional thing for your folders, for your binders, when you get them. So, starting with the first page, War in the Underworld. Should be up on the screen behind me now. All going well, but you never know with technology, do you? So, War in the Underworld. This talks about the hatred between Nagash and Sigmar, and it basically summarises it. Gives us the reasons why they hate each other, or there's lots of animosity between them anyway. So to summarise it, well, I'll read the first paragraph, then I'll summarise the rest. The hatred that lingers between Nagash and Sigmar has been festering for aeons. On more than one occasion the two have been allies, but betrayals, insults have soured their relationship. Now this rivalry has erupted into all-out war. The armies of Sigmar and Nagash gather in ever greater force to do battle. And it's basically talking about how Nagash and Sigmar hate each other, because Nagash betrayed Sigmar in the battles against Chaos. He abandoned the cause in order to pursue his own goals. But also Sigmar steals the souls that Nagash should be inheriting and building his army up with. He steals those souls and makes them into the souls of the greatest heroes as well, so that doesn't help. Some of the greatest warriors to have ever lived. He steals those souls and makes them into Stormcast Eternals instead of them becoming undead warriors for Nagash's legions. So that's why they hate each other. And then on the next page we get Nagash. Now Nagash is an incredibly ancient being. During the course of his existence he has risen from mortal to god of the dead. He has cast down countless empires and used his dark magic to raise the dead, to join his ever-growing legions of murderous undead terrors. And it talks about what he looks like on the battlefield and what it's like to face him as well in the next paragraph, or next few paragraphs I should say. Nagash looms over the battlefield, carried by a swirling cloud of shrieking spirits. His model is amazing. He's got these spirits. It was probably the first of a new, not the first of a new generation of models, but it's the way it's connected to the base, it looks like it's floating. And these smoky spirits sort of swirl around the model, and it gives you a real atmospheric feel of what it must be like to face a being like that across the battlefield. They're swirly, ghostly, spectral forms conveying him across the battlefield basically. And to face him, to confront Nagash in battle, is to cross swords with death itself. So it's like facing the Grim Reaper in modern culture. Modern society, mythical culture, I guess you'd say. He chills you to the core. His touch can chill you to the core, and just beholding him can chill you to the core. Now to another page of this. It's hard to know what the next pages, but that's the last little bit on this page. This is Sigmar, so it focuses on Sigmar, this bit, and gives us Sigmar the Thunderer. He is a light that guides mortals through the darkness, the shield that protects them from harm, and the hammer that smites those who would bring destruction and chaos to their realms. His wrath is limitless, and the wicked shall not be spared his fury. Of all the mortal gods, Sigmar is the God King. Sigmar, the God King, rather, is the first and greatest. From heavenly realm of Azir, he observed the mortal realms, sending his armies where they are needed most and attempting to restore unity and order amidst an endless tide of chaos and war. Now, I always thought Sigmar was a man before he was a god. So I thought in the old world, in the world that was, prior to the end times and prior to Age of Sigmar becoming a game and becoming a new whole bunch of lore for Games Workshop to pump out, I thought he was like a warrior king rather than a god. Now it may be sort of paralleling Christianity in that Jesus is God but also isn't really God. It may be something like that. Sigmar, the mortal God King, is Sigmar the god, but not really. You know, something along those lines. So the god existed before the man, and then he put his power into a man to become a god king, a warrior king, and lead mortal forces in the world that was. It may be that, I'm not sure. Correct me in the comments below if you know plenty about the lore of the Warhammer universe prior to the Age of Sigmar. And it talks about how he's the ruler of Azir and creator of the Stormcast Eternals, and from his throne in Azir he directs the Stormcast vast armies clad in gleaming armour. And towards the end of it, it says, already his Stormcasts have been sent forth on bolts of lightning prepared to battle marauding dead that now haunt every corner of the world. So he was waging war against chaos, and he was prosecuting wars very successfully against chaos. He was, after the Age of Chaos, he was pushing the forces of chaos out of the mortal realms, basically. And he was doing that with the help of Nagash and lots of other gods and their followers, their believers. And they were winning the war against chaos. Then Nagash sort of abandoned that fight and set about his own schemes to try and gain more power for himself and become ruler of Shyish. Wow, that was good, wasn't it? Ruler of Shyish, the realm of the dead. And, well, not become ruler of Shyish, the realm of the dead, but get himself more power and become the most powerful being in existence. Whilst he was ruling Shyish, the realm of the dead, which should be up behind me now, if all has gone to plan. Shyish is a shadowy realm made up of many underworlds, each created by the beliefs of a civilization and populated by the souls of their dead. Different civilizations view Shyish in different ways according to their own beliefs. Most mortals accept that Shyish is a vast flat disc with a deep pit in the middle that pulls everything else in towards it. So I think for me the best way to picture this is like a galaxy crossed with a world. So the way we used to view the world, Earth, and some people still do bizarrely, is a flat disc. But the galaxy, as we know it, is an actual flat disc, the Milky Way galaxy, and many other galaxies. It's like almost like a flat disc on a two-dimensional plane with a black hole at the centre of it. So if you think of the pit at the centre of Shyish, think of that as a massive black hole, and you think of the lands within Shyish, so the various countries and stuff, think of them as worlds, as planets, as stars, stuff like that. Then they're all orbiting this black hole in the centre and they're being pulled towards it. That's the way I like to think of Shyish, as a sort of disc-shaped galaxy with country-sized worlds within it. Each time a new belief system springs up in the mortal realms, and the way they see their dead going, once people from that belief system die, a new country forms in Shyish as well, so that's another interesting little thing for you. And eventually, when that belief system dies out, that particular country formed by that belief system gets sucked into the middle and destroyed, and then a new belief system springs up and a new country is formed on the outsides, and that slowly gets sucked in, and it's like an endless conveyor belt really, for the belief systems of the mortal realms, the various factions within the mortal realms. And this little map we've got behind us is just one section of Shyish. It's the prime inner lands. It's quite close to the big black hole. Nagash is the black hole essentially, and the Shyish Nadir. Each of the mortal realms is colossal indeed. The prime inner lands are one of the largest regions of Shyish, containing several vast continents and huge oceans. And the Great Inversion is what they call the black hole at the centre of Shyish. Thanks to a great quake caused by Nagash's magical experiments, the prime inner lands had been drawn permanently towards Shyish Nadir at the centre of the realm. And it also talks about various sections of Shyish here. I think I actually touched on this in part of the first Mortal Realms video I did. I think I spoke about a few of these lands, like Shadespire, jutting from the Desert of Bones, is the bleached corpse of once great city that has been cursed by Nagash. Halllost, the underworld of Halllost, is populated by ravenous chaotic monsters and spirits of the long dead champions. And let's touch on Mute Island as well. The underworld of Mute Island is populated slowly by those who have sworn a vow of silence, but now its rolling barrows resound to the raucous feasts of the cannibals who have taken residence here. So it's not only the dead that live in Shyish, it's also mortals that are still living. Which is one of the weird things about Age of Sigmar, I think. Although it's the land of the dead, it's not just the dead that live there. Well, how can the dead live? It's not just the dead that reside there, it's also the living. The living want to go through realm gates, these things called realm gates that connect the various realms, and they want to find new land to farm, new land to settle and raise families and communities and stuff like that. It's like there's that many people in the mortal realms that need to do this, but then they don't always stick to the realm that they grew up in, the realm that they lived in and stuff. So yeah, it's just I thought I wanted to touch on these little sections. The screen's gone behind me now. I wanted to touch on these little sections, these little pull-out sections in a video of their own, and this has given me a chance to do it. I was going to do it in a live video, like I said at the start of this video, but all did not go to plan. But sometimes things don't go to plan, as you can tell by the state of the world at the minute. But hopefully you've got a little bit of entertainment from this video. Feel free to check out the links in the description below to my Patreon if you want to help support the channel. If you're interested in sponsoring a Mortal Realms video going forward, what that basically does is gives me the money to buy another issue of Mortal Realms. You can just support the channel in another way, well, not in another way, but you can support the channel at lower pledge levels and buy me than giving me the cost of the value of a magazine. So there's a $1 pledge level, a $5 pledge level, and they both really help putting money towards the channel. The $1 pledge levels, it might seem low, but literally every little helps. So if I get 100 $1 pledges throughout the course of the year, then I've got $100 at the end of the year, haven't I? It's as simple as that, it all adds up. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now, guys. I hope you got something from this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield.